And you're welcome. It's time for the papers. Let's let you know what headlines you will meet when you pick up a daily today. And this time I have the delectable Winfrey Agbeleshe in the studio with me.
Hi.
Grand. So together, let's do this. Let them know what the news is out there. If you pick up a copy of the Tribune newspaper, these are the headlines you will be met with. P&ID excitement as Nigeria wins $11 billion UK court case. Corrupt officials, private firms can no longer hold nations hostage, says Tinubu. Judgment removes risk to Nigeria's asset abroad. If you joined us for the news, you'd actually note the fact that it was supposed to be less than 11 billion, but due to inflation, hey, we got more. Wiki enforces tax clearance certificate as precondition for business transactions in the FCT. And Supreme Court dismisses DME's appeal against APC and Ododo. Odua Investment Foundations defined for lunch today. And more headlines here at the bottom of the paper. Supreme Court reserves judgment in Obi Atiku appeals against Tinubu's election. Dismisses APM's appeal. Defeat awaits you, APC tells Atiku and the PDP. To the side, how I beheaded man sold his parts to Islamic cleric for 50,000 naira. Suspect says, very sad story. Attorney, parliamentary staff set to shut down National State Assembly, and 40 women in Nigeria die daily from breast cancer, says the BRECAN. About the breast cancer instance, many have said that there is not enough awareness. People are actually still in the dark when it comes to how prevalent breast cancer is, or cancer generally, but especially for breast cancer for women. The other thing is there's the Nigerian mentality of what you don't know won't kill you. And that's another thing. If you ask me, more awareness, perhaps maybe we'll get this situation on...
True, yes. As much as yes, you say that, and I hear that, right? If you talk about awareness is one thing, but then again, going for treatments and cost of treatments is another thing.
That's the fear.
So that's the fear, of course.
What's wrong with me?
Even when they know, exactly. Even when they know, they're like, okay, tell someone that's maybe like a market woman, or even like a regular person. They start thinking of, fine, how much am I going to use to solve this illness and all of that? So like it's
mental weight.
Yes, of it all. So they just hope it goes away.
What paper do you have?
I have the Punch right here. And for the majors, we have prove alleged forgery beyond reasonable doubt. Supreme Court tells Atiku. Court reserves judgment on Obi's LP's appeal. Dismisses APM's case. Atiku insists on CSU evidence. Ex-VP's disposition invalid, says Tinubu. And at the top there to the left, we have UK court dismisses $11 billion P&ID suit. Nigeria demands damages. We have that on page 7. To the right of that, we have federal government plans $10 billion to stabilize Naira. Eyes NNPCL for Forex, page 2. FEC. OK's $3.45 billion World Bank loan for power others. We have that on page 9. No loans, loans, and more loans. And of course, at the bottom of the papers there, we have to the left this Israel situation. Israel arrests 120 militants. EU backs Gaza aid. We have that on page 7. Slain Nigerian students. NIDCOM probes murder. NAND demands justice. We have that on page 4 and 5. To the right of that, we have federal government IHS plan 1 billion naira. Tech talent communities. We have that on page 24. All right. And I think, so I think basically on the issue of forgery, back and forth, I honestly cannot wait for that story to literally finally kick the bucket. And so we could just move past it. I just think it's interesting that... It definitely is a distraction. We have more important things to focus on, even the judicial system and all of that. We can't waste time on this. We can't keep on going back.
On track is another one.
Back and forth. I just feel like these clarifications and certifications and confirmations needed to have been done before now. Before now. Like and the whole thing of, okay, yours is fake, yours is fake, yours is fake. Okay. But anyways, let's hope. I mean, that whole thing ends like sooner than later.
Or sooner than later, hopefully.
Yeah.
Moving on now. I'll do the Nation newspaper here. Supreme Court grills Atiku's lawyers over CSU documents. Once again, that making a major headline. Apex Court dismisses APM's appeal, reserves judgment in Atiku Obi versus Tinubu. At the top of the Nation, victory in $11 billion P&ID UK case excites presidents, the FCC. Coast clear for Ododo as Supreme Court dismisses Adeyemi's appeal. Federal government confirms January state of student loan scheme, or start rather, of student loan scheme. I'm going to come right back to talk about that one. At the bottom for the Nation newspaper, Forex crisis, federal governments to inject $10 billion in weeks. Very excited about that because this is touching everybody, to use the local parlance. No matter who you are, what you sell. I only just discovered that an egg is now 150 naira.
Yeah.
I thought it was 30 naira.
I thought it was 30 naira as a win.
As abject as it might seem, there is a relationship between how the naira is doing internationally with the forex and how everything else, the food inflation that we're going through and all of that. So can't wait for that. But back to student loans, January as startup date. I also am very excited about this. I want to see how this goes. Many people, including Mary here, think that this might be not the best option, as people are going to be handcuffed to service for the government after they have perhaps acquired these loans. And then there are other talks about what kind of people would be able to access these loans at the end of the day, because there's certain very definitive prerequisites for you to be able to obtain it. So all of this, what would it mean for the education system in Nigeria going forward? What kind of people would we, what kind of citizens would we be breeding at that time? Breeding is not the right word. Sorry, I can't find the best word here.
Yeah. So yeah, there are all those concerns, but also what comes to my mind, I think what's top of my mind is getting the loans back. So as much as you say, fine, they'll be handcuffed to service, really, we all know Nigeria also has always had an implementation problem.
You don't think they'll be able to pay back? You think they'll get away with it? Jackpot perhaps?
Yeah, so that's the thing. So that's now further takes my mind to, okay, fine, would there now be an infringement on Trump? Because I mean, already, I mean, of course, we have people in the government coming out to say, okay, fine, we have our professionals to try, should be here and not be there, or probably come back home and all that stuff. So, of course, definitely, they'll probably try to look for a way to clamp down on people trying to escape after they've taken the loans. So now what measures would that lead to? So that is literally how my mind is.
Jail? Would our jails be filled with students who are very, very educated?
Yeah, so would they partner with the embassies not to allow or to issue visas and things like that? So it's just like a whole lot. I think it's a lot.
Very funny stuff to consider. We had the Daily Sun newspaper and also the Daily Independence to talk about, but we can't do that. But I'll just mention Supreme Court prepares poll for Judgment's Day. That's on the Daily Sun. And for the Daily Independent, the big headline is FG sets 10-year target to finance $3 trillion infrastructure stock. I want to check those out, okay?
Yeah.
But